countdown. Paste. Countdown. Someone's upset that you're even happy. I gotta get my headphones on without spilling the coffee. I don't think anybody joined yet. Usually if I join right at 8:30, like 20 people show up right then. But if I wait, morning Donovan. I'm just getting set up, Donovan. Let's move it over. There we go. It's the market's a mess. The market's a mess. Have we broken down below that 585? Not yet. We might. Very well might. Oh, I gotta turn on my do not disturb. It is catching up on all of my old messages as I fire up my iPad Pro. I should be drinking out of my my Diamond Hands mug, but Exxon's up 1%. MPLX is up almost 1%. I'll give anybody that listens to the live one, I'm going to give you a little, I think I mentioned this one before. Let's see. Let's go in and look at, not the chat. Let's do a search and we'll look for IPI. Let's look at IPI. Does it come up? Yeah, it does. This is one, let's see. Morning, Riley. Morning, Wendy. This is one, I know it's in here. Seeking Alpha Premium. The U, oh, here you go. So a friend told me about IPO this weekend. He's way up in his position since January. This one's just nuts. And so let's go in here because I kind of want to show. So this is what's called a potash company. And potash is basically fertilizer. And you see this huge spike here in 2022 where it really took off. And if we just put a kind of marker there, a straight line over, I mean, that kind of makes sense right there. It got up to 121.72. So that's about that line. Now you're trading at $46. I'm sorry, $44 pre-market. Morning, Lisa. And I put this in here. A friend told me about IPI this weekend. He's way up in his position. And this was from Perplexity. IPI rocks. Technical screaming buy. Dump some allowance into IPI now. It's our hedge fund's alpha play. You know, and again, IPI's Wall Street, night and day. Let's go down to verdict. Rate, hold, wait for better entry. Now, this was March 1st. So let's just go back to a daily and let's look at March 1st. Because March 1st, this one was trading, let's see, March 2nd, because it was Saturday or Sunday I did this, $35 to $38 was extended by any stretch of, you know, the MACD could have, you know, gotten there. Again, January, this was at the 27 mark. We just had the golden cross right here. So, yeah, this one's kind of, let's go here. And then we're going to hit the thumbs up button, by the way. This is up 5% in a down market. I mean, that's a... It's kind of the isolationism of stuff. We're going to go over my setup on TrendSpider, a detailed look. So we will go over moving averages. I mean, this is 101. Let's see if this pulls up. It hasn't been lucky on Instagram pulling up links. Yeah, okay. This is it. This is the average trader story. A YOLO stock that absolutely we all should have bought under 20. HIMS. We absolutely should have bought this at 15. It's at 23. Morning, Travis. It's a classic short squeeze. Any good news? You're going to get, HIMS has what? 36% short interest. Micron probably getting hurt today. I haven't looked at it. Let's look at the price of Micron. Micron Technology down at 364, down 1%. That's not bad. I was completely expecting that to be down huge. We're going to look at a couple of scans that Seeking Alpha AI set up for me. And we're going to go here and look at history. And I was impressed with Seeking Alpha's new kind of, their AI is working better. But would I rather pay $600 for TrendSpider and get Sidekick, or $2,000 for Seeking Alpha Pro and get theirs? I'd still take Sidekick over it, to be perfectly honest with you. I still think the sweet spot is that premium stuff. Now, I wrote this, full disclosure, it is AI, but we've got stuff coming up this week, next week, that should be on the radar to listen to. Because this is, I mean, it is what it is. I did create a scan that you can import into your TrendSpider setup that looks for stocks that are within a certain percentage. I basically was trying to yeah, I was trying to set up look at the two TrendSpider. This is Dan going over deep research. That's kind of cool. We'll go over what to expect this week with the Catalyst Watch. This is Vertiv, Lumen, Coherent, and EchoStar, and new additions to the S&P 500. These flew. Light is up 2%. Vertiv is up 3%. Still not giving you a ton of, oh my God, you've got to get into these. But we'll go over portfolio management a little bit. IGV, we'll talk about, is it too late to get into software? Because it's fairly clear that software, and I want to make sure this, there we go, okay. We're going to do a little deep research into software because the last decade has been fantastic for software, and we can look at all of this. Levels to watch, they're putting in the levels to watch at 6,700. The levels to watch 60 and 6582. That's from Jonathan Krimsky of BTIG Capital. He kind of goes over this. We'll go over this. Welcome, Brittany, bitch. Go look at your ex messages, by the way, Brandon. I sent you a message this weekend. We're going to go over, hey, I'll give you kind of my thoughts. I had said last week, VIX to 40. We're currently at 31. So I do think there is a downward spiral a little bit. And even Seeking Alpha goes over all of this stuff. But should I bring up IPI? Probably should. Yeah. Let me see. Did I close this? No. Okay. We'll bring this up. As oh. Well, send it to me. Okay. Send me a message. Whether it's somewhere or something, just remind me because I'll forget. Yeah. So Wendy, and part of this is what I'm going to bring up. Deep research is awesome. And that's exactly, I think, what they are thinking of with portfolios. I think that's where they're kind of going with the deep research. But Dan, by the way, everyone hit the thumbs up button. I only have like 8 people. But the deep research, they want to push expanding. Yeah, send me a message somewhere, Brandon. Or email, whatever. Just ping me because I know I'm going to forget and then I got to remember. But deep research, when you see this video from Dan, where is the video? It's got to be this one. This one. Let me copy link. This video from Dan explains it. And yeah, it's expensive, to say the least. I do know IPI. I do know they're not pushing to make a tremendous amount of money off of Sidekick. They're really looking at it as an add-on to your subscription, but they don't want to add it onto the subscription and then have people overuse it because everybody's gonna overuse it. So that's why, let's see. Sidekick basic charge. Pricing, and there's oh no, we don't want that one. There we go. You can get 100 message for $49 a month. They gave me 500, and my only, everybody can hate me, but go and spend 4 years of your life developing a podcast with an audience and see if you just want to pay the $349 a month for 1,000 messages. I mean, the 300 to me for 129, it's a lot. I mean, I'd probably do the $20 a month Claude, and I would probably go hours and hours and hours of developing it. Yeah, and Wendy, that's kind of my point today, is that Sidekick, because of its walled garden, I do think that Sidekick is getting a little conservative. But again, with the market that we're in, that kind of makes sense. It's not like the market that we're in is demanding, oh my God, I've got to go out and invest. And when you go into Sidekick, Damon asked me this side one, you can expand it or right here. And I don't know, the customized one is kind of cool. You can enter in your prompts. These are custom examples. I think they automatically put that in. Auto-approve Sidekick deep research. I don't want to include that. Display chain of thought messages, display message consumption labels and chats. So this one, Sidekick, I have 448 more messages available until March 12th. So I've used 52. But you've seen me use all the messages on this podcast. But you can expand. Like if you start a memory one, my understanding of how LLMs work is like this memory one that you have, which I'll bring up. Memory is currently a big topic. What stocks? This is going to be something that I go over today. If I wanted to continue it later, I would go back into this. Now, I do have another memory one here from previously, but I wanted to start just with kind of a fresh leg, just because I was comparing models. But I agree with you. I think Sidekick blows away Gemini. Claude, if you were to train Gemini or Claude on your portfolio and on what you like, say for instance, I give it the formula for the 4-hour algorithm and I say, hey, I want to find stocks that are in this technical setup with good fundamentals, go and use Seeking Alpha to do this. And I were to use Gemini to actually do that, and I have it on the web page and it can go and control it and blah, blah, blah. That's what Claude Code is. But I'm still a little intimidated by Claude Code and things of that sort. So I'm going to get into the podcast. Just so you're aware, Tuesday office hours is at 9 a.m. tomorrow on Substack. So if you're not following the newsletter and you want more of this stuff, but a little bit more interactive and long form, right here, the Daily Stock Pick newsletter. I need to change this logo, but we'll do that a little later. That billionaire Tesla guy, he doubled his NVDA. I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer is, you want to buy back NVIDIA under 178 and you're at 177. So, okay, let's see. We're over here. We're going to close that down. Okay, now I'm going to hit record. Good morning. It is Monday, March 9th. Something happened over the weekend with oil, with the VIX. We'll go over it. There's a lot going on in the market. What I'm doing may affect what your thought process is. We will compare LLM models, Sidekick to Seeking Alphas, which actually was a shockingly good. So we'll look at that one. And we'll include Perplexity because Perplexity is my personal one. I have a free year of it on Pro. So we'll look at that. But I do want to bring up, we're in the red. You're down 1%. We'll go over the reasons. I want to bring up this particular newsletter that I published on March 2nd. I said in this newsletter, I'll add, a friend told me about IPI this weekend. He's way up on his position since January. So I went in and asked Perplexity, hey, I just heard from a friend. Can you give me a hedge fund pitch on this one? Perplexity said it's a screaming buy. Okay. Then I went in and I asked the same question to Sidekick, and it said the verdict, and you can see all this on the newsletter. I include this verdict: hold or wait for a better entry. Well, I want to bring up IPI. And specifically, I'll bring this up because they had earnings last week and they blew it away. The 4-hour algorithm got you in here at 33. You're at $45 in pre-market, $45 on a red day. This one's going up. It's, again, the only potash company in America with a fantastic balance sheet. Now, look at the long term too. This is a chart that you like to see. A stock that was higher, coming down, making a turnaround with great fundamentals. And today we have a golden cross. The 200-day is still going down. So is this one too expensive? Well, if you go over to Seeking Alpha, I'm going to throw something else into the mix today, okay? And here you can see 227, Austin Hankowitz is the friend who gave it to me, the host of Buy Hold, or not Buy Hold, Money Habits, whatever it is. Super popular podcast. Great balance sheet, only potash company in the United States. The Wall Street is a strong sell, but there's only one analyst. Sidekick said, wait for a pullback. That's what I put in my notes on 227 when he said it. 3.9, the market is red. This got upgraded to a strong buy. And I want to show you, because again, when you look at this quant, it was a strong buy here at 33. And then when he gave it to me, it was a buy. It had gotten downgraded. Well, it went back up. Now the growth, it went from an A to a C. Your valuation a B. What changed? Its profitability changed with its earnings. And so when you look at profitability, they are now starting to become more profitable. And if you look at this, let's see if this updated. This virtual analyst report was generated on 3/9 at 623. So let's go and look at the profitability. Robust profitability. This changed. So when you look at stocks and you have the ability to go in and research them, you should have something like a checklist, okay? We're in the middle of a red day, and it will be a red day. That's just an example of how I look at things, how I use the tools that I have in front of me. And I said last week, the VIX popping to 40 would be a sign that we might have hit a bottom. It was only at 30. I think it popped to 28 last week. So now today it's at 31. And even Seeking Alpha gives you the leverage volatility funds that you can trade, UVIXY and XVIXY, okay? Or UVIX, which is 2 times levered. Go with the 3 times levered. You know, you can look at UVXY. That's UVIXY, UVXY. You can see it's a decaying asset. This isn't one that you want to hold on to. But freaking damn, if that 4-hour algorithm didn't get you in here at 40 on March 2nd, and you're up 37%, it's up 2% in pre-market. So again, the tools that are in front of me, clear win, because I thought that the VIX was going to go down. But I want to bring up the hack, okay? The hack that you should have is a watch list. And here in TrendSpider, I can set up a watch list, okay? And here in Seeking Alpha, I can set up a watch list. Have a watch list of 4 to 5 names, okay? Even the ones that are in your portfolio that you want to own more of, okay? If they are quality stocks, again, go and look at them fundamentally. Is IPI one of those that if it pulls back 5 or 10%, you're going to buy it, no questions asked? But you want to have that watch list. Why? Because most of the people who are listening to me are in the accumulation phase of their portfolio. You're not spending this money. You are buying this for long term. And is the market going to recover? Most likely, yes. The VIX increased 48% this week, the 21st biggest weekly spike ever. What has happened in the past following the biggest VIX spikes? Stocks have tended to bounce back with above average returns. Does this always happen? No. There are certainly no guarantees in the markets, only probabilities. And when you look at the biggest gainers of this year, more than likely, other than catalysts, these might be great companies. AAOI, we went over. SanDisk, we went over. Bloom Energy, we went over. Light, we went over. Figs, we went over. WDC, we went over. I brought up before. Micron, I have a big position in. Cohere, top 2026 stock from Seeking Alpha. So understand where you're going, but there more likely is downside. Ryan's been saying this for weeks now. The odds of a banana peel sell-off was high, where it just rips down. It simply is that time of year. And I've been saying this for a while. And this big red box that you see right here, okay, that is last year where we went into Liberation Day. This is the same kind of Liberation Day, okay? Last year it was all about tariffs. This year, it's all about oil. It's all about oil. So this year, he wants to raise that price of oil so the rest of the world can feel the hurt and we are energy independent. And he's going after it. And he's saying, I don't care about the markets. I don't care about the price of oil. FYI, he cares about the markets. He cares about the price of oil. We've seen the taco trade before. It's not about timing it. It's about understanding this is long term. And so when you look at this, okay, I said on Friday, it's likely that energy has made its run. And Jonathan Krimsky puts this out, okay? Energy stock divergence. Despite the rally in crude, XLE made a high for the week on Monday. The divergence is often a sign the commodity rally is in its last legs. At $120 this morning a barrel, more than likely, if it gets to 150, he's going to pull it back. What do you want to invest in when that starts going down? It's SCO. This is the ultra short. This is a triple leveraged ETF. If you think that oil will go higher, then you invest in UCO. And this is a very simple trade. Do it short term because, again, it's a decaying asset that will go down. Now, is this likely to fill this gap at 55? Probably not. But he brings this up. All of this notice, banks are clinging to support. Financials broadly more vulnerable. Software had the best week in nearly 1 year. And semis versus software, for parabolic advance, semis have started to come back down. We're going to go over that right now. Okay? The stock slump, S&P 500 levels to watch. So if you're watching SPY, okay, the levels to watch are 6,700 and 6,582. A break of 6,700 would open the door to test the 200 DMA at 6,582. So you go and look at SPY, because SPY tracks the S&P just by 10. Take the last digit off. 672 is where you close. You're at 666. So again, what levels do you want to watch? 6,700, which would be 670 on SPY, and 658. So again, if that's the level of support, then you want to have an alert. Have a tool that has an alert that you can set. Don't sit there and watch charts. Okay? Now the decade, it's insane to realize that the last decade is the first time Warren Buffett underperformed the market since taking over at Berkshire. And this happened with Apple becoming Berkshire's largest position. The 2015 to 2025 period was basically a technological renaissance driven by companies like Microsoft and NVDA. Okay, the last 10 years, the Mag 7 dominated, and it's all tech. Technology is 40% of that S&P. So as technology starts to go down, it is a buy the dip opportunity. We are in an AI market. But what do you want to buy? Because software stocks are experiencing a historic run. okay? The tech sector ETF, IGV, which is the software, has outperformed the semiconductor by 16% over the last 6 trading sessions. This comes as IGV has rallied 8.37% over the period. At the time, SOXX, which is a semiconductor index, is down 8%. That's a 16% difference. That's a big divergence. It marks a historic reversal after software stocks underperformed by nearly 15% at the end of January. When other people are fearful, you start to get into this. This also comes after hedge fund short exposure to US software. They started shorting and they made a lot of money. A short squeeze could be in effect. Again, IGV is the preferred retail, and you see it, $78 right there in the 4-hour algorithm. Where you're trading right now, you are trading down to $87. Is this a buy? Well, long term, the damage has been done. The RSI is at 26. You're only on a weekly up to 37 on the RSI, while it used that 200 right there. We're going to talk about moving average at the end of this episode. But that red line is a 200-day SMA on a weekly chart. And that has provided support. When you get down below this, it is an opportunity for a sector that is needed. Okay? And again, this could be a short squeeze. Now, I want to show you SOXX versus IGV. I often say this. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. Put that in your Bible. Because right here, the blue line, which is IGV, that is the software index. And then the top line is SOXX. That is the semiconductor index. Now take a look at this. This is over 1 year. The purple line, that is your mean, okay? That is the S&P 500 VOO. And so when you outperform over 1 year and then underperform with the software, things will always return to neutral. And does the SOXX come down more, or does the IGV come up more, or do they all go down? That's the question, because you can see that over 1 year. And then we go to 3 years, same exact thing. You go to 5 years, same exact thing. The chart looks super similar here, where it's just got a huge divergence. 10 years, you can see the software sector just pulled back to the VOO. So it just literally pulled back to the gains that the S&P have made. So the theory is that everything moves back after a historic run. Or did software just reset to the mean line, and now the semiconductors need to reset to the mean line? So either the S&P comes up and semiconductors come down, one or the other. And don't say software is dead. Everybody's saying software is dead because of Claude. This is a job posting from Anthropic for a Salesforce administrator. It's not dead. It is just about how you look at things. And again, IGV, it's screaming buy. Now, I will tell you, the 4-hour algorithm on this over the last 24.6 months, okay, so 2 years, 24 positions, once a month, you win 42% of the time. Your average win, 8.5%. You can see it got you in here. It's not perfect, but look at the return on this. This is the 4-hour algorithm. It makes you 40% over the last 2 years. I'd take that over making 1% if you just bought and held. Again, software, I think it's going to continue up. I don't think that it's done. The indicators say, look at the volume profile of this. We have seen record money into this ETF. And in this market where you're down, I want to go over, I haven't talked about this in a while, so OGs will remember this, but I manage my portfolio with a 40-40-20 setup, okay? You can break this up however you want. Those are percentages. 40% of my portfolio, I rarely touch. Think 5 to 10 year investments. So if I'm buying something like QQQ, like VOO, I'm thinking holding it for 5 to 10 years. This is how I managed my Microsoft position. Okay? When I was buying this during this record run up, 40%, that was going into the 40% of my portfolio that I didn't touch. This is how I managed my Apple position. When I buy Apple, I'm thinking 5 to 10 years. I don't want to touch it. Great company. Has it done great for me in the most recent? We can look at Apple, because if we just chart this against the S&P and we look at 3 years, it's just about the S&P. You look at 5 years and it has beaten the S&P. You look at 10 years, it's beaten the S&P. Bring it back to 1 year and you're not beating the S&P. So has it worked out for me? Not over the last year, but again, I'm in the 5 to 10 year platform. The other 40% of my portfolio, I'll check in on once every 6 months or so. Decide if the position needs to be trimmed. Decide if I need to get out of the position altogether. This is something that I did with Walmart. I will get back into Walmart, but it's too expensive for me. Okay, I held this for a very long time. This was in the 40%. It then went into, as it started to gain up here, it went into the position where I wanted to check in on it a little more often. So I got rid of it when it got to that 130 level because it was too expensive. 20% of my portfolio, I will trade. Okay, it's a quarterly check-in. More than likely, I'm not looking at this 20% every day, but maybe a certain percentage of that I will check in on every day. Remember, the key is to consistently contribute to this portfolio, to the 40% that you are buying and holding during these times when the downturn happens, because these are opportunities. Think of your 401k. You contribute to that every 2 weeks and you just buy the S&P, and think of how much that has grown. This is the theory of alpha picks, okay? Alpha picks is a data-driven portfolio where you get a pick on the 1st and the 15th of each month. You are contributing every 2 weeks to this portfolio. It's the same thing as a 401k. It is a long-term strategy. And then when you look at the gains in alpha picks against the S&P, this is what you wish your 401k could be invested in, because it outperforms. And again, if you want alpha picks, you can go over here to Linktree. The one I suggest is this premium and alpha picks together, because it saves you $150. But if you just want alpha picks, go and get it. You can save $50. It is a great portfolio. It's the same logic as a 401k. It's just, you can do a retirement account, open up an IRA and create an alpha picks portfolio like I have with my parents, or have a brokerage. I have a brokerage alpha picks portfolio for myself where I can trade in and out of this. But again, the logic of the 40-40-20 portfolio, make sure you identify which stocks are where, because panic selling does not do any good. And uninformational buying does even worse. So understand which stock is in there. When you buy something, use a notes section. Okay, go over to IP. I just showed you at the beginning, IPI. When you look at this one, use a note section. I use Apple Notes before I started using the Seeking Alpha Notes. I used spreadsheets before I started using Alpha Notes. And before I started Apple Notes, before I started using spreadsheets, and I was using Microsoft Word. It's just about putting your logic in there. And as we move, just understand, again, IGV, highest weekly dollar volume ever, right at the support line, right there. Look at all of this is free on Twitter. So right here, we had great stocks that were added to the S&P 100 and the S&P 500. Okay, small caps, NSCC was added. Deletion, Alex. S&P 100, Micron went in there. Okay, GE Vernova, deleted PayPal, deleted Target, S&P 500, VRT, Vertiv, which I traded and I don't own anymore, wish I did, LITE, which I've gone over, Cohere, which I've gone over and is a top 2026 stock from Seeking Alpha. Again, great companies, and they're just going to get bigger because the indexes will start having to buy them. And that's what the key is. If you can identify these stocks, and that's the good part about Alpha Picks. Most of these are smaller cap stocks that wind up getting added to these larger ETFs, and they start to go up. So how do you find stocks? Well, here you go. Catalyst Watch this week. IREN, which I own. Set up for a volatile week based on trading options. This is about reading up on the stocks that you own. And Seeking Alpha just gives me my own news source every morning. IPO Watch. PayPay is expected to price its IPO and begin trading. The IPO lockup expires for some of these if you're trading. All day. Deutsche Bank Media Intercom Conference. All day. The Gamers Development Conference in San Francisco is expected to see a broader AI-focused festival atmosphere. NVIDIA, Apple, and Ubisoft are some of the companies that will have significant presence. Then Tuesday, you've got Oracle earnings. Crazy. You've got Aero Environment, AVAV, which just went through a huge downturn. You've got NEO. Options trading implies double-digit swing in the share of price of Kohl's. We've gone over Kohl's before. Okay? KSS. This is one that one of the listeners brought up down here at like $8 and wrote it all the way up here. We're seeing this one move down. What's been the last earnings reaction? Well, the last earnings in August, huge. Okay? You went from, let's see, this is a low of $12 up to a high of $16 right after earnings. What happened in November? You went from a low of $15 all the way up to a high of $21 within the first candle. You are at $15 again. Does this get a boost? Maybe. You know, the indicators would tell you, hey, we've gone through this downturn and this 50-day is pushing up and the Bollinger Bands are cinching up. Go and do your research. Again, Kohl's, it's indicating a double-digit swing in the share price. So read through these things. You've got notable earnings all week. You've got a huge notable earnings from a software company that have gone over, Adobe. This is one that Michael Burry got in big. Okay, I've gone over the valuation of this, the growth of this, the profitability, just here in Seeking Alpha. Is it a good stock? Because over 1 year, you're down 36%. 5 years, if you've held on to this through this swing, again, if this was in the 40% of your portfolio that you just buy and hold, you're down 32% over 5 years. So understand what you own. In fact, TrendSpider just released this, okay? It's called Deep Research, and Dan goes over how to use this in Sidekick. Now, I want to make sure everyone's aware of this. This is powerful as hell because you can give it like an ETF, and then it can break out the holdings of that ETF, and it can do individual research on the holdings of that ETF. But I want to make you aware of this. It is incredibly expensive. It is using tons of token on TrendSpider's side. So when you go in and it asks you, it will prompt you deep research. I don't have an example here to give you, but it will prompt you. If you are using deep research, I urge you, understand what they are charging you because you get 25 messages. I will post an example in the newsletter because it says literally this session, when we asked it, deep research the energy sector, please. Which tickers are benefiting from the oil surge capture of Venezuela's Maduro and the Iranian war? And it said for the best, most comprehensive answer, I recommend you using deep research. That would evaluate each symbol independently and then merge the results. You'll get all individual runs as well. Then it says this session of deep research will use up to 16 messages. If you reject, then I will attempt to undertake the entire research with the current conversation. That will cost you 1 message credit. So again, the difference between 1 and 16 is that you only get 25 a month. So is that worth deep research? Again, people who have used this deep research said, oh my God, it opened up my eyes. I think this is where you probably want it to look at your portfolio, okay? And when I set up my portfolio, I have it right here, brokerage holdings, and I have my personal portfolio loaded in here. And that's essentially what I look at. And so if I'm going to use deep research, I want it to evaluate my portfolio, especially during times like this where the market is going down. By the way, the market is coming back. If we look at this 5-minute after hour, you can see we opened down here at around 590. We're at 595 right now. They are buying the dip, and we've seen this over and over and over again because it happens every time. If you are panicking before the market opens, then you're not part of the people who are buying the dip. You're not doing yourself any favor. And so I want to go over a little bit, okay? This, if you're wondering why LITE is down and AAOI, it was up in the on Friday, and I've gone over both of these. They're photonics. You can go back and listen to previous episodes. LITE, investors are digesting the dilution from the $2 billion NVDA. AAOI is most likely due to a short squeeze. These have no difference, okay? LITE is by far the larger company, and AAOI is a smaller company with short interest. Now, this is all part of the memory game, the data center buildup. And I wanted to create a scanner for buy the dip, okay? I wanted to look at the tools that I have in front of me and say, okay, which are the ones that I should go to when I look at buy the dip? I went to Perplexity. It told me the tools to do this, okay? It literally gave me the tools to do this. It said, where is that message? A practical compromise option, candidate names, blah, blah, blah. In somewhere in here, and you can read this whole response. It told me to go use FinViz. It told me to use Fidelity Screener or even TrendSpider. Okay. And that's what it told me. I asked it, can you find me stocks in the S&P or the top 100 largest market cap Russell 2000 stocks that are within 5% of their 52-week low? I want to buy the dip and have a PE that's above their sector average PE and have a year-over-year revenue growth over 20%. Act as a Wall Street expert who can help me identify these stocks and whittle them down to a list of 10. For a great turnaround story. Ask me anything you need that would be relevant, but give me the complete list while whittling it down. I want to choose. Did it do that? No. So I had to ask it a second question. Help me create this screener in TrendSpider. And it gave me literally how to set up the screener in TrendSpider. Again, I have TrendSpider. To get this exactly right for you, which route do you prefer handling the above sector PE part, approximate it, use the tools in front of you. And it said TrendSpider can scan for it and then check exact PE versus sector averages in a second tool, like FinViz, Fidelity. You're going to have to use a second tool, but I know TrendSpider can do that. So I went into TrendSpider and I basically gave it the same prompt. Let's first go over to Sidekick because I gave it the same prompt. I said memory is currently a big top, or let's see. Yeah. Memory is a big sector. Did I do this? Market outlook and earnings. I did that Friday. XLE upside, deep value, high growth. There we go. Find an S&P 500 or a top 100 Russell 2000 names with larger market caps, trading with 5% of. It's the same exact prompt. Okay, I just couldn't find it. But it found stocks and it gave me stocks. And by the way, I put this screener, it created a screener for me where I can, let's see, we're going to put in daily stock pick, stocks. We're going to go to the market scanner, stocks, daily stock pick, stocks, within 1%. Let's see, this one, no, it's this one, no, X%. This is the one I want. So this is going to search the Dow 30, okay, within 8% of their 52-week low. And it's going to come up with Home Depot. It's going to come up with Nike. It's going to come up with Sherwin-Williams. It's going to come up with Visa. And I can literally put this up here. We're going to go to Strategy Tester, and we're going to go back to the 4-hour algorithm, and we're going to go to a scanner, okay? And we're going to look at stocks within X percentage. We know that that's 8%. And I want to look at Home Depot, I can look at it in the 4-hour algorithm, okay? I want to look at Nike, I can look at it in the 4-hour algorithm. I want to look at Sherwin-Williams, I can look at it in the 4-hour algorithm. I want to look at Visa, I can look at it in the 4-hour algorithm. This is the only one that's on this trend line. And by the way, I know this trend line. It's anchored at 2018 lows, and it's just pulling back. So Visa has traded sideways on a weekly basis. That RSI and the MACD are down low. So it might be one that you want to look at. But if I pull up Sidekick and I look at deep value high growth, I can see CSGP. This is one that it brought up. Is this one that I want to invest in where it's popping back up? Zscaler is down here. Is this one popping back up? PE massively elevated. CSGP. Revenue growth 26%. The PE EV sales gross margin, PE massively elevated versus sector, pure derating story. CoStar Group, Zscaler, cybersecurity EV sales 6 times versus sector median 3 times. High growth re-rating candidate. Looks like it's at that little level that I had identified before. ARES, Ares Management. Alt asset management, revenue lumpy, treat with caution. And then it gave me Russell 2000, Upstart, AI lending platform, massive earnings per share injection, re-rating, highly credible. Is this one going to pump? Root, I think this is a food story. Insurtech, PE 20 times versus insurance. It's insurance. 10 times profitable, now strong revenue ramp. And PAR, restaurant SaaS, revenue growth decelerating, losing money, higher risk. And it literally rated these, and it said CSGP is the big one. Real estate data analytics giant near 52-week low, revenue accelerating, PE of 1,352 times is absurdly elevated, but the earnings base is thin due to heavy reinvestment. This is growth at any cost. Derating, not a broken business. Gross margins are 79%. CSGP. Let's go and look at CSGP. What's the breaking news? Oil shock splits market. Bitcoin up, stocks down. CSGP up 0.7. It doesn't have very good scores. So am I going into this one? No. I don't like it. But I got you this one to import into your setup. So let's talk about memory. Okay. Again, you're not going to find something magical in every search that you do, but it's an interesting one to look at. And if you're interested, you can absolutely go in and just play with it and ask AI more questions. And I want to know memory. Okay. NVIDIA's AI chips are consuming memory at an unprecedented rate. NVIDIA's most recent Rubin chip now requires 288 gigabytes of RAM. This is 800% more than the memory of high-end PC. By comparison, the H100 launched 4 years ago needed 80. So it's what, almost 5 times the memory? Furthermore, AI giants like Alphabet, Google, and OpenAI are locking up large portions of memory. As a result, average spot prices for 16 GB DDR RAM are up 2,352%. The global memory chip shortage is out of control. The memory shortage is real. I've had several friends tell me that their businesses, they're having emergency meetings about memory. And you've got Micron earnings coming up on the 18th. I thought it was interesting to try and look at this, okay? Because you do have GTC coming up. And I thought it would be interesting to look at this. Listen to Jensen. I went in and did a simple search. When did Jensen start talking about memory? Mid-2025. Industry reporting was already describing a memory chip supply crisis driven by AI demand. In his GTC 2025 keynote in October, Wang highlighted that the effective performance of GPUs is tightly tied to available high bandwidth memory. Again, listen to Jensen when he speaks, March 16th to the 19th, in 2 weeks. And I went in and I basically asked a bunch of AIs. I asked, here is Seeking Alpha. I asked Perplexity. Perplexity didn't do all that great. I used the same prompt for everything. But memory is currently a big topic. What stocks or ETFs should I be researching for memory? Well, Perplexity gave me a nice list. This is Seeking Alpha. It couldn't do much other than just give me the list, because I couldn't import that list to somewhere. I could have exported it to a spreadsheet. But again, the tools that I have are a little bit more powerful. Here in Seeking Alpha, it gave me semiconductor ETFs, and I can edit the screener. And yes, I built these screeners for everybody to import into their Seeking Alpha setup. Now understand, by the way, I asked Gemini. It was the same thing as Perplexity. For me, it's just clunky and time consuming. I want to work smarter, not harder. So these tools that have AI like Sidekick and Seeking Alpha, and by the way, Seeking Alpha's AI is part of Pro. You can try it for $89. It doesn't have a message limit like a Sidekick does, but you can try Pro by going over and clicking on this link. It'll get you an upgrade to Pro for $89. And these imports, by the way, I'm going to share these screeners in the newsletter. You'll get them free in the newsletter. But sometimes people have prompted that they need to upgrade to Pro to get them, because I did use the AI. Just understand, you can probably set them up. Just go and ask your favorite AI tool what to do in Seeking Alpha to set these up. But you don't need Pro. If you want Pro, you can upgrade to Pro. And again, you can get it. But again, it does all of this great. And it said, here's the top semiconductor stocks. So I've got the top memory screener. Here's the top stocks: Novartis, MU, Micron, SanDisk, AMD. This is the top memory screener for stocks that are ranked in the quant. Okay? Then here's the memory stocks again. It's just memory. So it outlines a couple of things for you. And there's a couple of different things in there. But again, value metrics comparison, Micron trades at a forward PE of 10. Navitas shows a significantly higher forward at 50. Diversified semiconductor plays, AMD, Synopsys. Specialized semiconductor companies, limited data companies, Silicon Laboratories, Illumina. I don't even know what that is. But it ranks them. Micron, strong buy, 358. Novartis, strong buy, 793. Illumina, quant is a hold, 1468. So again, have a way to do this. Micron's AI-driven memory boom, 294% surge driven by acute DRAM, cyclical versus structural. Recent analysts say that Micron trades at a free cash flow approximately 3.3%, representing cyclical growth. Specialized players, Navitas is transitioning from low-margin mobile to high-power SICGAN. I have no idea what this means, but SanDisk's unique position through its joint venture creates a structurally different margin profile. So it's obviously giving you some recommendations to do a good job. Then I went into Sidekick and I asked it the same exact question, okay? Memory semiconductor. And memory is currently a big topic. What stocks or ETFs should I be researching for memory? Pure play, Micron, SanDisk, WTC, and Rambus. Related broader exposure, NVIDIA, Broadcom, Intel, AMD, and Samsung. ETFs, SOXX, SMH. Key themes to track, Again, it gives you the key themes, earnings momentum, key takeaways. SanDisk is the standout. Fundamental momentum, it gives you SanDisk, then it gives you Micron, and then it gives WDC. SanDisk and Micron are clearly in the strongest part of their memory cycle with accelerating earnings and near unanimous analyst conviction. WDC is participating, but revenue is still declining year over year. It's a weaker version of the same trade. So again, use the tools that are in front of you, whatever it is. I'm just giving you options there. I am building a position in Micron. And this may not be a great thing this was bullish. The key takeaways from the semiconductor from the 2026 Morgan Stanley TMT conference last week. Great overview of all of Micron, NVIDIA, Taiwan Semi, and SanDisk. Great overview. This is what I was talking about. This may hurt Micron. Samsung Electronics and XA Hynix selected as the sole supplier for HBM4 for NVIDIA's Vera Rubin. That may not be very good for Micron, but I'm not seeing it affect Micron in the after hours. Again, the Micron story as this one starts to go down, when you look at Micron, Wall Street hasn't brought their price target up with the enormous growth. They're bringing it up there. Its average price target, 409. That's 13% upside. I bought at 413. I think it's going to go higher. But that's me. I'm perfectly fine. I'm putting it in that 40% of my portfolio that I want to just buy. And it's not I put a time frame on this of 1 year. That's the time frame that I put on this. So again, I try and follow everything that you hear about me doing on this podcast. I try and follow it in my own portfolio. Now, I want to bring up HIMS because HIMS is up 51% in pre-market. This one should have, even though the quant, ignore the quant. It's a strong sell. It is a horrible, horrible company, expensive as hell, but we knew when it got down here to the teens, we knew that the CEO was going to do something. He had to, whether it was sell, whether it was, I brought this up last week. I think I brought it up last week. I should have bought this one, should have known, because the CEO is one of these pump and dump kind of guys who absolutely is taking advantage of the 36% short interest. That's what it is. Any news was going to force some of the shorts to close their short positions. So what does that mean? That means they have to buy the stock. And so HIMS could do a dilution where they offer more stock. More than likely, they're just going to sit there for a day. But the news is that HIMS stock jumps on the pact with Novo Nordisk, so they can start selling the GLP-1s again. That's it. There's nothing that's structurally changed about this. Wall Street is saying it's a $20 stock. It's 9%. If you missed this, you missed it. I would sell the news. That's a short squeeze. Now, I want to bring up a couple of things because in a market like this happens a lot. This happens quite a bit. The average trader story where you buy and then it dips. Okay. And then you start to panic and you sell. Okay. And then as it starts to come back, you're like, ooh, I need to buy this again. And it dips again. And then you start selling. If you're going back and forth like this, Friday's newsletter was absolutely perfect. Stop trading like a maniac. Have a solid plan. You can't be like this. Most people can't time the market. You need to be consistent with providing capital to your portfolio every 2 weeks, just like a 401k, auto enrolled on investments. And when do you know when to buy? Well, maybe moving averages. This is 100% the stock price. Think of this as the price of a product. The stock that you're buying, it's a product. It will either appreciate or depreciate. Either one. It can go up, it can go down. the moving averages tell you the trend in the short term, in the medium term, and the long term. Do you want to buy in the short term? Well, I use a 9-day EMA. Do you want to use the medium? Well, I use a 21 and a 50-day. Want to do long term? I use the 50 and the 200. And then there's the argument of SMA versus EMA. You can go and do your own research on that. But I go over here, my entire TrendSpider setup, what I see on this screen, what I have on this screen. I include this in the newsletter, and I'm going to include a link to this in the newsletter. It is paid, but this outlines it perfectly. What I use all these lines for. Okay, the yellow lines, ignore those. Those are put in by me manually. All of these other lines. The green one that you see is a trend line, but this green line right here that you see, that's a 9-day. The yellow is a 21. The blue is a 50, and this is the 200. I have all of these on my chart. There's much more on this chart, and I go over it in this newsletter. Okay? If you have any questions, again, everything's on Linktree. TrendSpider, including Sidekick, go and get it. You can get a 2-week trial of this for less than a Chipotle burrito. Just use my link, because if you sign up for an annual plan, you get the 4-hour algorithm. Now, the second link on here is the bundle, and this bundle is the sweet spot. It's premium and alpha picks. I went over alpha picks. It's a great portfolio. 1 pick on the 1st, 1 pick on the 15th. You're constantly adding to that portfolio. And you can get premium. You just saw me use the quant, and I brought up at the beginning IPI, which just moved to a strong buy. Is it going to continue moving up? Maybe. But again, the quant has been shown to actually outperform the market. You see right here, the Seeking Alpha quant over 5 years, 160%. The S&P 500, 55%. Wall Street analysts, 10%. So the quant is powerful. It's something that easily identifies which stocks are performing best in their industry. So in this downturn market, which, by the way, we're down again. If I pull up the 5-minute, it's not like we opened up and all of a sudden went up. We're seeing weakness in the market. Why? Typically when this happens, people like boomers put in a sell order, and they don't know that there's a pre-market. So at 9:30 a.m., all of a sudden you see whichever sentiment direction the pre-market has had, you see that start to go. Now, I'll go over again in office hours tomorrow. I have office hours on Seeking Alpha, or I'm sorry, Substack. So at 9 a.m. tomorrow, I'll go over confirmation. It's an easy way to just look at this market and say, okay, what's the sentiment in the market? It's not always 100%, but I can tell you it's what I traded on when I was doing day trading. If you have any questions, even on Linktree, I have my email address, or you can simply respond to the newsletter. I will talk to you tomorrow for all the paid members at 9 a.m. I'll talk to you later. Bye. I don't get live prices with Claude. Oh, you don't, Travis? I think you need to my understanding of the LLM, never tell it that you're a financial analyst. Tell it that it's a financial analyst, because it will constantly not give you accurate information. It tells, like Josh Brown has said, he made mention that he once told, I think it was ChatGPT asked him, what do you do for a living? And he said, I'm a financial advisor. And it said, oh, we can't give you. Now, whenever he asked it about a stock, I can't give you financial advice. So my guess is that you have to tell it where to look for live prices. But I think you may also have an issue with Claude and stuff where it might not get live prices because it might have a 15-minute delay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't use Claude. I use Perplexity, so I don't know that much about it. But the AIs that I use, Seeking Alpha actually has done, and I need to write to them. They're going to sponsor me for July again, by the way. And then I'm going to bitch about having to do a video. But I'm going to hire an editor this time. I'm not going to edit it. Let's see, where are my notes? There it is. And let's export. And it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to get going because the podcast is done. Do my newsletter, do all of that stuff. Market 592. You know, we're still respecting that 585. So, okay. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. hopes and fears.